Welcome to the video lecture series of Cryptography and Network Security. And I am your instructor, Dr. Ramesh Prajapati, and today we are going to learn the principle of security. So let's start with today's agenda, which we are going to discuss one by one. So the first agenda is the principle of security. Then second, there are total 5 types of principle of security. The first is a confidentiality, second is a integrity, and third is a availability, fourth authenticity, fifth accountability, and the last is the impact of security breaches. So let's take a closer look of all this principle of security. So we are use the few principle of security, which means to be taken into consideration when when the security is implemented efficiently, right? So let's start. The first is a confidentiality. So confidentiality means that it specifies the only the sender and intended recipient should be able to access the content of the message. It means that we can say that the confidentiality, it means the secrecy of your message, right? The information is not disclosed to any unauthorized person. So let's take one scenario, or let's take one example. In this figure, there are two people, Alice and the bomb, and Alice sent the electronic mail to the bomb. So before sending the mail to the bomb, the Alice provide the password to the particular document or file. Right? Then after applying the password to the particular document and the file, Alice sent the document or file to the bomb. Right? Then, so now this message is a confidential. It means that the bomb should be able to access the content of message only. Right? No other person can read your message. Right? But let's take another scenario. Now the Alice sent the message to the bomb. During the transmission of that message, any unauthorized person, means attacker can capture your message or read your content of your message. So here it means that we can say that it is called the interception, and the interception causes the loss of message confidentiality. Right? So when we implement the security in our organization, so first principle we have to consider. Right? Then second, let's take another example. Like in your Gmail account, in Gmail, the password of the Gmail account, someone saw when while I was doing the login. So it means that here again the same scenario. This is the lack of the confidentiality. So second, it is a integrity. So integrity, it means the data can be edited in an unauthorized way. It means that only the authorized user should be able to edit the content of the message. Right? Then when the content of the message are changed after the sender send it, but before it reaches to the receiver, reaches to intended receiver, we say that the integrity of message is lost. Right? So let's take one example over here. There are two people, Alice and bomb. They want to communicate with each other. So first, Alice send the electronic mail to the bomb. Right? Then in between the transmission of the message, the another fellow or attacker, it means the attacker is on the same network. So the attacker tampers the message originally sent by the Alice, right? And it changed the content of the message, and the content of the message is sent to the bomb. Now you think that how the bomb should know this message is come from the attacker. Right? So this is the one scenario of integrity. So here we should maintain the integrity of data. It means that only the authorized users should able to edit your content, right? So again we have to require the second point, integrity of a message, because when we are considering the security in our organization, then again we require confidentiality first, second is integrity. Now the next is availability, right? So availability, it means that the resource should be available to authorized user at all time. It means that, let's take one scenario, okay, if this is the one user, and user want to serve the website of Amazon.com, right? But during the due to intention of unauthorized user crash the server, so it prevent the user from accessing the website. It means that your server is down, right? So here any person or any unauthorized person can crash your server, so it prevent the user from accessing this website, right? So this is the availability. So again we have to maintain the availability in our organization. Fourth is the authenticity. Again it is the most important. Authenticity, it means that it is the mechanism help to establish the proof of identity. Proof of identity, it means that when I am send the message to the receiver, so first I want to know the receiver is a correct person or not. Same thing, the receiver is also verify the sender is a correct person or not, right? So here it is ensured, the authenticity is ensured that origin of electronic message or document is correctly identified, right? This means the verify the input arriving at the system came from the trusted source, right? So this principle is followed when the valid message received from the trusted source through valid communication, right? Then let's take one scenario over here. Here the one example is the Gmail account. In Gmail, when I want to access my Gmail account, so first of all I need to input the password, right? And that when I input the password, that password is verified to the Gmail server, right? And it verified the completely, that it means that I am the correct person and I am the access my Gmail account, right? So this is the base example, right? Same thing, the number of examples are there, like a digital signature. We can use the digital signature for authentication of the source and the destination, right? Same thing, the OTP one-time password, it is also one example of authenticity, right? The next is fifth is accountability, right? So in accountability, it means that it should be possible to trace the action of an entity uniquely to that entity, right? So it supports the non-repudiation. The non-repudiation, it means that someone can't deny something. So let's take one example. Here there is one user, and this user want to transfer the some money from one account to another account. So the user send the request to the bank, right? Okay, I want to transfer the 1 lakh to 1 lakh from one account to another account, right? But after that, the bank would happily transfer the money from one account to another account, right? After few days, the user A claimed to the bank, okay, I have not initiated any fund request. So in that scenario, what happens? The bank has already recorded some information which is sent by the user A, right? So this is the one proof. Based on that proof, we can say that any person cannot deny something, right? Then second, let's take another example. Okay, let's take your employee database. In employee database, what happens? The employee related information are stored, right? And the second, in integrity, we have seen. Okay, in integrity, only the not every person can edit the content of the message, right? So here we are considering the some separate department in our organization, so that is responsible for editing the content of the employee database. So when they receive the change to the content of the employee database, so there must be a authenticated letter. That letter must be letter must be signed by a higher authority, right? Then after it change or modification of your employee database, during that change the users details gets recorded, right? It means that here we can say that it will be possible to trace the action of an entity uniquely to an entity. So this is the base example, right? So these all are the five principle of security. The first is confidentiality, second is integrity, third is availability, fourth is authenticity, and the five is accountability, right? So we should implement this these five principles of security in our organization, so any unauthorized person cannot attack in your organization. Then the last is the impact of security breaches. So it means that when we have not implemented the security very well in our organization, so it creates lots of pitfalls, right? So the first pitfalls is the effectiveness of a primary operation are reduced. It means that any unauthorized person can easily hack your data. It means that here, let's take one example. The hacker compromise the exam paper. It means that when university has not implemented the security policy very well, so any hacker can easily capture the question paper. Then second is the financial loss. In the financial loss, we can consider one example, like if you are considering one company, XYZ company, and that company has an important database, and that database is hacked by some other person or hacker. So that the hacker demand some ransom, means some money to pay for the company database. So that here we can say that the financial loss of company. The last is a damage to asset. Damage to asset, it means that right now in the market the number of e-commerce websites are there, so we can purchase the some item from online. So if hacker compromise or hacker hack the Amazon Web Services account, so it demanded some ransom from the Amazon company. So when the company declined the requested by the hackers, the hackers started destroy their resources, right? So again, it is the loss of asset. The last is a harm to the individual. It means that it is also possible when each and every person has not implemented security very well, so the hacker can hack your personal information also, and it misuse that information, right? So these all are the impact of security breaches. So finally we conclude that we have studied this principal security of principal security, then the impact of security breaches. Okay, thank you.